How important is your sound to what you play? Everything.
Everything.
Okay.
If my sound isn't right, I feel like I'm wearing ankle weights.
That's a great description.
I just can't play. You know, you can go through the motions and play stuff that you know works, but that's not fulfilling. That's not gratifying. To me, playing to a good sound is the most inspiring part about playing guitar.
Yeah. The ideas are almost generated from that feedback of the sound to
from how you respond to what you just heard. And my friend Mike Barnes used to say, he used to have an expression for guitar players that he called lick players. He's like, that guy's good, but he's a lick player. And so when we were kids, I said, what do you mean by that? He's like, here's a lick, there's a lick. It never changes in the middle of a lick. You know, when I think about the cats that I really like, when you're playing and if you hit a note and it sounds really good, then you hang on that note for a while. If you hit a note and it doesn't sound good, then you keep going. You know what I mean? So the best thing is when one note sounds amazing and you can hold on to it and use vibrato and switching pickups. You hit the same note again on a different pickup and it sounds good. That way it inspires what you're going to play next. You know, if I'm having a good night, I don't know what I'm going to play until I respond to what I just played.
Right.
If I'm having a bad night, I'm just going through the motions, you know.
Could you give a demonstration of playing the same note with different pickups so people can see what you're talking about?
Well, mostly on slide, but some on regular guitar as well. So if you go... It takes on like a sax quality.
Yeah.
Blowing harder, tone changes. And it's the same when I talk about slide technique. It's the same moving the position on the neck. So if you play...
So you're playing the same idea, the exact same notes, but in a different position, and it gives it a completely different sound.
Yeah.
Because of the thickness of the strings and...
Yeah, so I talked about it in one of my slide videos, how Ry Cooder would play stuff down there with a bright sound.
Yep.
Whereas Dwayne Allman would play same thing.
Just has a throatier sound.
It's a little meatier.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can go all the way up there too. So those are three versions of the same thing. They all sound a little bit different. So also, if your rig is too bright, you play it one way, you go, no, that doesn't sound good, and you move to another place. You know, guitar, we're lucky that way. The guitar gives you options.
I think that's also the reason the guitar is confusing for people is that you can play the same thing in multiple places. It's one of the few instruments that's the case of,
yeah, right.
You know, really only in string instruments.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you.
The action height to be able to play leads and have it yet high enough to play slide. What is the kind of sweet spot for that?
I call my action too high for lead, not high enough for slide.
Right.
It's a compromise where I can do both.
Yeah.
But if I was just doing one or the other, if I was just playing lead, I'd have it a little lower. If I was just playing slide, I'd have it a little higher. But I want to be able to switch at the drop of a hat. So I just keep it like that. And it works for me. And it also makes me slow down and fight the instrument a little bit more. If my action's too low, I probably overplay even more than on a normal basis. I think there's something to be said for having to fight your instrument, you know. And I love Les Pauls for that too, because they put up a fight. They're not the easiest guitar to play.
No.
They're very gratifying and give you an amazing sound, but life could be easier. I don't. There are a lot of choices that are much easier to play, but it just doesn't feel right to me. I feel like you should have to work for it.
Yeah. And what gauge strings are you using on there?
These
right
are
now?
10 through 46.
Okay. And have you always played that gauge?
For a long time. On my Firebirds that I keep down a half step,
Yep.
it's 11 through 52, I think.
Okay.
But they're tuned down a half step because not all of them, but I like that sound on a Firebird. It gives it a little Hendrixy sort of vibe. But I like the Firebird. It's got that Fendery thing, but it has the Gibson-y thing too.
Yeah.
And so that's my compromise. I think if I want that sort of Hendrixy thing, I'd gravitate toward that.
It's kind of one of the few Gibson guitars that does have that.
Yeah.
Have that thing. Talk about P90s versus humbuckers.
Well, I love P90s, and actually been working with Gibson on another signature guitar that I hope it's okay for me to talk about.
It's definitely okay.
It's going to be similar to this, but with two P90s. And I love that sound. You know, we all know there's certain places they don't cooperate. You
Right.
get in some rooms and the buzz will kill you.
Yes.
That's a drag, and that's why humbuckers were invented in the first place.
Right.
But the sound that P90s have is pretty amazing, and I've been kind of getting back into it. It's going to take me a while to get as comfortable with the P90s as I am with humbuckers, but I'm ready for the challenge because I love the sound.
How would you describe the sound of a P90 versus a humbucker?
I don't know, there's something more organic about it. There's something a little more, it has a grit that's different.
Yes.
It has a bite that's different, but it also has a mid-range that's different. It's hard to describe. I think at the time, humbuckers, which turned out to be an amazing invention, that was just the compromise to get a pickup that sounded as good as possible without the noise.
hum. Yeah.
You know, then they turned out to be amazing. But a lot of cats I know really, really love the P90 sound, and rightly so.